amistad, Dascha Polanco. To Gracias Come Again.
You're welcome. I will be back.
Oh my God, you're already promising to come back?
Yeah. Ni ha llegado y como quiera siempre vuelvo.
Today it just feels extra special because this is our last episode of the season.
Oh,
This is episode number 35.
You did 35 episodes?
35 interviews. Forget 35 episodes, 35 interviews.
Wow, that's amazing, honey. Congratulations.
And we were moving this around, and I'm like, you know what? Let's move it around. Yeah, because you know what? I want to make her the last episode because I'm so comfortable with you.
Oh,
and I feel like it's just going to be like, kind of like hanging out like, oh, I did it. I made it. No pressure. No pressure.
Así yo me sentí como yo me pone bonita, relajada.
Tú estás linda. I love this color on you.
Thank you. Color hueso.
Ay, you're so Dominican.
I
Color
am.
hueso. My mother says that. Una camisa color hueso.
Sí.
Like, yes, mom. A bone colored shirt? Okay, no problem. Whatever you say. You were born in Santo Domingo?
Yes. I was born in the Dominican Republic, la República Dominicana.
But do you have the mark on your arm?
Bueno, yo vine antes de eso.
Oh, okay.
Yo estaba chiquita, como 4 años, a mí no me dieron la inyección. No la tengo.
No. You're probably too young for that mark. That's what it is. Porque
Yo
eso la
tengo
gente más
la
mayor.
marca que yo tengo es la de adentro, ese fuego, esa es la marca que yo tengo, el que corre por las venas.
Talk your shit. Talk
¿Tú
your
me
shit,
entiendes?
Dascha.
Ustedes con su marca, pero yo tengo la mía interna.
When did you come? How old were you, baby?
I was like 4 years old.
Una niñita.
Yes.
¿Y caíste dónde? ¿En Brooklyn?
En Brooklyn.
Sunset?
Pues tú hiciste tú.
Claro que sí. ¿Tú estás loca?
Yo caí actually in what they call Fort Greene.
Okay.
41 Adelphi Street, by the Brooklyn Navy Yard. Cuando la calle estaba caliente, en los 80.
Oh, wow.
Sí.
¿Quién te trajo? ¿Mami, papi?
Mi
¿Quién?
papá y mi mamá.
¿Vinieron juntos?
No, mi papá vino adelante y después trajo a mi mamá. My dad's family was here already. They were like economically better off than my mom's family.
Había un chin de chavo.
Tú sabes, un poquito, un chin.
Y mandaron a acá. It was just you and your mom, or who else came?
It was me and my mom, yeah. That's it. And then she had my brother and my sister here.
Esos son lo que
Ellos
son
son
americanos.
americanos.
Lo que son
Los
lo que no-
gringuitos.
Está bien, no hay problema. My older sister, my younger brother, they were born in DR, but they're U.S. citizens now. Pero si quieren tener cédula, pueden tener cédula. I'm like, okay, do your thing, tengan su cédula.
Yo creo que tú no puedes tener cédula.
Sí,
Yo
pero
creo que
I have to do like a dual citizenship
Sí.
with my mother and my father. Y vaina, tengo que ir a la embajada dominicana. I think it's right here in Times Square.
El consulado dominicano.
De ahí, el consulado. Pero, my little sister tiene una cédula. Ella se encarga de toda la vaina de la propiedad y los terrenos y la mierda allá en la República.
Sí.
She got it.
She got it.
She's
Pero
one-
bueno tenerlo. Bueno, a mí me encanta tener mi cédula, mi amor.
Tú la sacas y vaina. di que-
Claro que yo ando con ella, mi amor. Y yo la saco, mi cédula. No me la sé de memoria, pero de vez en
Tú no
cuando.
te sabes tu número de cédula para cuando vaya al Banco Popular allá en la República.
No, yo lo que sí me sé es mi Social Security.
Ese sí.
Ese sí me lo sé.
Oh my God, I love this. Miami, what's your connection with Miami? ¿Tú viviste en Miami?
Sí, yo hice parte de mi adolescencia. I did high school in Miami. So, I started high school here. I went to Miami. Then I came back and forth. Miami was like, I-95 and I have a long, long history together.
Whose idea was Miami? Your father?
My father.
Porque él era que tenía, I guess, like, more means. Because Dominicans, one thing about Dominicans, as soon as we get money, we queremos vivir en Miami, o viajamos a Miami, o vamos de compras a Miami. That's like our thing.
Es como el escape cercano,
Yeah.
donde está el calor caribeño más cerca.
Pero los dólares.
Y mi amor, ¿quién no le gustan los dólares? A todos nos gustan los dólares. Pero mi papá era el que trabajaba.
Okay.
Y mi mamá era la que se quedaba en la casa. And, but she was the one that used to control the money.
Claro que ella es la que manda.
Ella hacía sociedad, esa mujer ahorraba, esa mujer compraba la cosa, what my father used to wear, what cologne.
Mujer dominicana al fin. Ella
Ay,
manillaba
sí.
la casa.
Ella sí. Y iba a la universidad. She did, she went to college here. She went to Kingsborough.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Yes, I used to help her with her essays.
Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
How, Latino children, we had different upbringings. We would help our parents with things. I remember going with my mother to offices and translating for her, like government offices.
Honey,
And
I've been doing that since I think since I was I want to say 8.
And this is something American child cannot relate to.
Well, in school I couldn't relate to the freedom that my classmates had. You know, growing up for me, I had to go with my mom to get Medicaid or to go get like welfare.
Vamos face to face, ven, que tú me
Face
vas a
to
traducir.
face.
Remember
¿Tú
that?
me entiendes? Que si esto, que
Que si me
lo-
tumbaron los cupones, vamos por una oficina.
Todo yo llamaba, o que una tarjeta, que había un payment plan, o que, dime esta carta aquí.
Tradúceme esto, léeme
Y mi
esto.
mamá sabía inglés, pero obvio que habían cosas que al tiempo I didn't understand how beneficial they are for me today. Because that freedom that I wanted from like my fellow like classmates or like my friends, at this moment now, I appreciate that she was able to like instill that in me subconsciously somehow. Because I'm so independent. I know how to like, you know, open up a bank account, how to deposit. Like there's so many things that you don't learn that probably now people are speaking about it, like financial education, that I was doing for my parents. I mean, at least for my mom. That helped me as I was becoming an adult.
And I feel you. I managed my entire house, top to bottom, and I'm like, I learned this as a child. Yo sé cómo pagar todo el bill. Like nobody had trained me on how to run a household because growing up as a child of immigrants, you know, you're really involved in. Vamos a abrir una cuenta de banco. Vamos a hacer esto. Vamos a pagar Con Edison. Vamos a mandar una carta al landlord. So I understand where you're coming from as far as being trained for life as a child.
And you know what used to piss me off when they used to talk to my mom like in a certain way, and I had to be like, excuse me, like as much as you know. They take advantage sometimes, like the conversations that I would witness was taking advantage at the language barrier.
Oh, of
and
course.
That would be like, wait a minute, I'm sorry, what happened? No, there's an error here. There's 15% whatever on the Capital One, whatever she had to pay.
And you 12 years old.
And I'm like 12. But you know, it's interesting because we don't, places like this, right? Like your podcast, we get to speak about those things. I remember when those things were not a topic of conversation because it was not relatable or because it was a thing that we kept like in the house.
Hush, hush, yeah. Uno no va a decir que tú tenías que llamar a una oficina del gobierno for your mom. You weren't going to say that because mom
Absolutely
was
not.
mom.
Exactly.
Esa mujer se respetaba cuando salía afuera.
Exactly.
But you know, now it's like, and it's something that bonds us, and it's a relatability that it's very real right now. And I feel like with social media, it's become much more acceptable. We talk about these things.
Yeah. Like there's a double-edged sword that I always say. Right now, there's so much access to information, and there's so much access to express yourself. And it's important because you grow up thinking you're the only one, or you're alone, or like I'm so different, or I want to fit in, and then you realize like, wait a minute. You take care of your parents too. Tú tienes que mandar cuarto para Santo Domingo. Pero yo también tengo que mandar tanque. Cuando mi mamá hacía eso, I was like, oh my God, I had to help her. The barrels, los tanques que uno tiene que llenar.
De ropa y de comida, que
Y ahora soy yo que lo estoy haciendo. Even though I try to get smarter, now I'm like ordering it online to get it online. I don't go to like Costco or BJ's or all those big places.
You're like, no voy en persona a comprar. Who do you have back in DR?
Have all my mom's families there and my dad's there. I have siblings there. And I try to like help, but I always help my dad. But my family, I try to always send like boxes, barrels of stuff.
Again, something that a regular American person they're like, what are they talking about? But not me. I know what's going in that barrel. Todo lo que cuesta mucho dinero en la República, we're putting it in that thing. And I remember, because we would go live there sometimes for like a year or two, and I remember my mom would send us stuff, and I was like, oh my God. And we'd get like mashed potatoes, like the flakes, and I would be so happy. And we would get Aunt Jemima, that's what it was called before. Pancake mix, and just different things. And we were so happy.
Conflay.
Americans would be like, what do you mean? You used to send food in a barrel to another country?
Why would you do that? And then now when I think about it, logistically, I'm like, so I'm buying cereal for $6 and like, let's say 99 cents. And I'm paying to ship it. And I'm paying, let's say $700 to ship 5 boxes. If I divide, like, it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't add up.
But
right?
It's just to have something from here. Because now when you go there, I feel like you could get everything that you can get here. It's just it's gonna taste different.
And it smells different. Like things
Pero
from
para mí me fascina, mi amor. Cuando yo veo a la sirena y cuando yo veo a Jumbo allá y compro esas cosas, mi amor.
Cuando tú te metes en ese aisle de tratamiento de pelo.
Ay, mi amor, crece pelo, toda esa vaina que tienen para allá, mi amor. A mí me encanta.
Olvídate, yo no dejo que pase un viaje a la República sin ir a la sirena. Yo me tengo que llegar. Mi silicone mix has to come from DR. It's different.
It's very different.
Eso es criollo.
It's very different. Todo. ¿Sabes lo que yo me compro cachú? Yo traigo cachú, yo traigo
¿A ti
leche
te gusta el
Mili.
cachú de la República?
Hello. Yo tengo,
Victorina.
Yo compro Linda, Victorina y Baldón si no hay de los dos. Pero tú sabes que a mí me gusta traer leche Mile.
Ay, yo pensé que tú ibas a decir un lemisol criollo.
Yo también traigo el emisol, mi amor.
Mentirosa.
Pero yo no traigo el emisol. Yo estoy comprando ahora otro que es clear.
Okay.
Que es como rosado. Se llama... porque antes yo traía...
Frugagil.
Lufragil.
Yeah,
pero
that's
ya
the
no
word.
lo hacen.
O ya no lo hacen. They
Y
discontinued
eso era
it.
más bueno.
Yo me recuerdo.
Eso como que picaba, pero era más bueno.
Eso te daba como un tingly feeling que
Ay,
tú estabas
qué
viva,
rico.
right? Y que eso estaba limpio.
Uno se sentía limpio. Pero ya no lo hacen, pero yo compro lo que vaya porque me gusta. Es algo que me lo que no entiende la gente, que cuando uno viene de allá y viene aquí, se cría en una casa que es, like, at home I was super Dominican.
Oh, yo también.
Out in, like, Brooklyn, on wherever I was at, I was, like, not relating to anything but what was from Brooklyn. Does that make sense?
No,
like,
of course, yeah.
you know, I'm double dutching, I'm hot, whatever it was at the time.
It's like the duality of our life was insane. You know, we would go to school, a pledge allegiance to the flag, y después llegaba a tu casa y un bachatón a todo lo que da. Y un salami frito.
Arroz, habichuela, mondongo, sancocho,
Vamos a hacer un
aguacate.
sancocho, señores.
What did you eat? Like, I always wanted like a TV dinner because
Oh.
my friends were like, TV dinner? I'm like, you eat that and a brownie? Wow.
Oh, the little brownie that I had on the side, right?
And when I bought it, I was like, ay, a mí no me gusta eso. Ese pollo está muy prieto adentro. I bought it once. I was like, ay, a mí no me gusta eso, ¿no?
You was like, absolutely not.
Hell
This is not for me.
Y cuando yo le dije al amigo, mi amigo dije que molondrones. Ellos no saben lo que eran. You don't know what molondrones? We did not have Google.
I
So
didn't even know the
there
word
was
to
no
molondrón in English till like probably last year.
okra.
Who
Well,
even?
I'm a Googler or like a researcher. And I had like, at that time I had Británica.
Oh my God,
Like
tú
the
tienes la enciclopedia entera.
But I was missing, no, mi amor. I was missing a couple of letters, like maybe half. We only had like,
Ni que la L y la Y no
like
había.
from 11, like from L to probably M. We got it later on.
Don't assign me no shit past L.
But I had it. And I was obsessed looking up stuff. Not as easy as now, but see, food was something very, very unrelatable growing up for me. Because at home, I used to eat cooked food. Everything was like arroz. Fridays was maybe Chinese food.
Comida china, yeah.
Papa frita con chicken wing. O chicken en brócoli. A mí me gustaba mi chicken wing and french fries with ketchup.
Lo
hot
mío era
sauce.
rib tips with pork
Ooh,
fried
rib
rice. I
tips,
was
mi
a
amor,
fat ass.
Mi amor, rib tips con ay, Dios mío, qué rico ese arroz frito. Extra egg. Put an extra egg. Yes, I would eat that. And then sometimes pizza
Una pisita, yeah.
y una sodita.
¿Te recuerdas Pizzarelli?
Ay, pizzarelli, eso no en Santo Domingo, que está
Claro
porque
que
aquí no
sí.
hay.
El adobón, Pizzarelli. Cuando
qué
uno
rico.
iba, we had our spots in Dominican
Ay, sí,
Republic.
qué rico.
Going back and forth was amazing to me because it was just like living in two different countries. And sometimes it came because of a struggle, you know, perdimos el apartamento o tenemos que ir para la República hasta que se busque otro dinero, so we re-up on the bread. But I love it, and, you know, having lived there shaped me in different ways.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to live there for extended periods of time?
I never got to live there. I only got to stay there for,
Summers?
you know, summers, vacations, or wherever. But I see myself there.
Oh, 100%.
I want to invest there. And I just feel grounded when I'm there. I feel so free.
Right? You feel so like...
Como que everybody's going to know what I'm talking about.
Tú no te tienes que explicar.
No. Y como que yo me siento como que yo me puedo quitar los zapatos y como que andar como yo pueda. Yo soy yo nací en la Avenida Independencia.
¿A dónde? Yo soy de 7:30.
Yo en la Clínica Abreu,
Okay.
which is now like a maternidad. That's where I was born. But I was like raised going back and forth was to the Capotillo, which is like where everybody like talks about now.
Olvídate.
And when I first
Eso es
started,
candela, el Capotillo.
mi amor, y cuando yo hablaba de eso, muchacha, no diga eso, que tú eres 10. And I'm like,
Di que
I'm
tú eres
so
de la capital.
Pero para mí, mi amor, ni tampoco. Dije que tú eres de la capital. ¿Tú estás segura que tú no eres de la línea? Dije de Santiago. No, mi amor, yo soy de la capital. Claro, yo tengo familia de allá de Montecristi, de todos esos lados. Claro, we all do. Pero yo soy de la capital, lindo. Pero I've always been proud. That's one thing that being Dominican, I don't know how it happened. But since I was little, I've always been proud of being Dominican. And whether I was in school, whether people couldn't relate, I never felt less than. I just felt like different. But I always wanted to like show off. Like, this is how we dance. This is, yo bailo el perrito, que si yo bailo esto, que si Anthony Santo. You don't know what that is? Don't worry.
Talk about, I'll explain to you. It's crazy because when I was in elementary school, it was all like, you're Puerto Rican, you're Puerto Rican, you're Puerto Rican. No, I'm Dominican.
All the time, me too.
What is Dominican? I'm like, hold on, let me explain to you. You see this island right here? That's where I'm from. So I can connect with you as far as being super proud of where you're from. And I refused to be stripped of it. And it was like probably like 3rd or 4th grade. And I was like, nah, I'm going to show y'all where I'm from. Ese orgullo que uno tiene de ser la República Dominicana, you know, I'm pretty sure every country feels it, but we're just extra proud. I don't know what it is about us Dominicans.
Sí, I don't know either. I can't explain it. When people tell me, mi amor, yo soy dominicana.
We want to retire there. We want to vacation there. We want to buy property there. Like, I don't know if other countries go as hard as we do.
And I'm sure that is something that, for the immigrant, at least, I don't know if it's the same as far as how much you want to invest back in your country, because there's a lot of immigrants that don't want to go back home and don't get the opportunity. But for us, there's always this idea of like, I might want to retire in DR. I might want to go live. Why not?
Yo tengo un terreno, yo voy a hacer una casa. Para allá que yo me voy.
Mi amor. ¿A dónde tú tienes tu terreno, mi amor? ¿En qué lado?
Tú no quieres saber por dónde están esos terrenos. Esos terrenos están para allá, para Samaná.
Ay, a mí me encanta Samaná.
¿A ti te gusta Samaná?
I love Samaná.
La terrena es lit. Semana Santa en la terrena.
Mira, yo fui a un viaje que hizo un grupo de mis amigos para Samaná. And we had such a good time. And I was able to see the whales come to like the
Oh yeah, you went during that season?
Yeah, it was like February. But you could still see the whales in the
Tú no te montaste en ese botecito, right?
I didn't go there.
Okay,
I was
good,
on a 4-wheeler, which by the way, I bust my ass on the 4-wheeler. I almost died.
Oh.
Yo iba para el Salto de Limón. ¿Sabes lo que es el Salto de Limón?
Claro
It's a waterfall in DR.
Y te metiste en un 4-wheeler para el salto.
That 4-wheeler, I don't know, it was raining. It kept on going. Yo me fui por un barranco.
En la lluvia, en un
Por un barranco, gracias a Dios que yo tenía un helmet.
Y
like 5-story high. Like, honestly, I don't know.
¿Y no te rompiste nada?
I didn't break no, except for my tooth. I cracked my tooth.
Eso fue Dios que te cuidó.
Y las press-ons todavía estaban puestas.
Mentira. Y se te tuvo que romper el maldito diente y no una uña, coño.
Mira, I was like, tan lindo que yo tenía mi diente. Todavía lo tengo lindo, pero tú sabes.
Pero arreglate. Eso se arregla.
Eso se arregla. Ahora tienen un tro de tecnología para eso.
I love you. Mom, you are mom.
I know.
2 children.
And now I'm mother.
Okay.
I've been running away from that title
Which
since
one?
I was 17. Being a mother.
Oh my God, I love this for you. I'm like, she's so. And what did you do with your daughter? Copy and paste? Like, how did your daughter come
Everybody
out?
says that.
Your twin. Like, it makes no sense to me.
We've done bumped heads.
Oh no, she's you, right?
She's me. But she's like, you know, I grew up with her. She was with me in the...
How old were you when you had her?
I was 18.
Okay, so you definitely grew up with her. Because you could be 30 and still be a kid.
Right. I was 18. And I was already mature. I was the oldest sibling.
Oh, you were
I was
the
cooking
leader.
when I was 9. Cooking like hot dogs and making like peanut butter jelly or plátano, you know. Since little, I know how to do things in the kitchen because that's
what
culturally
we do.
what we do.
Yeah, a los 13 años, vamos a aprender a cocinar, coño. Aprendí a lavar baño.
Es como que mi mamá me estaba preparando para todas las responsabilidades que venían en mi vida.
Y
después yo vengo y me pongo a parir temprano.
Pero eso pasa.
Pasa.
¿Qué te
¿Y tú
dijo?
sabes lo primero que me dijo mi mamá?
¿Qué te dijo tu mamá? Eso yo te iba a decir.
¿Qué tú vas a hacer con eso? Te vas a joder la vida.
Typical Dominican mother.
When my daughter came out, she was obsessed with my daughter. She's like, it's you all over. My daughter was like a preemie. She was 2 months. She was 2 pounds, not barely 2 pounds. She was in
2 pounds.
She was in NICU for 2 months. She was supposed to be born April 14th. She was born December 16th.
Wow, 2 pounds, Dascha.
2 pounds, like a little. Ella parecía un little lizard. Como que I was like, this is not my daughter.
How scared were you?
I was so scared.
18 years old with a preemie? But your mom stepped up.
Oh boy, she was
She
there for
probably
me.
tortured you the whole 9 months.
And I was in college in the middle of all this because I've always been that person que tengo complejo de octopus that I do everything. So I was at Kingsborough. I was pregnant. I was working.
Claro, porque tú tenías que ir a la universidad. Tu hija de dominicano. Aquí hay que estudiar, coño. Aquí necesitamos un título, aunque sea para ponerlo en esa pared.
And at the time, I took care of my mom. My mom was sick. She wasn't with my dad at the time. My dad was incarcerated. And honey, it was just a lot on my plate. I was just going.
You're a kid. Think.
And I'm a kid.
How old is your daughter now?
My daughter is 21.
Can she do everything that you were doing?
Honey, she done had a kid.
Oh, she did?
She made me a grandma. I told her the same thing. Tú me vas a ser abuela mía a esta edad.
Pero ven acá.
Yo todavía quiero tener un muchacho.
I know, right? You're like, todavía me toca un muchacho y tú...
I was like, that's funny. But you know what's funny? I was the first one she told that to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when she lost her virginity, she came to me first. At least that's what she tells me.
But that's... You know what? You didn't have that with your mother, did you? 'Cause I didn't even have the sex talk with my mother.
My mom had that trust with me. But I was always scared of telling my mom certain things because I'd never wanted to hurt her. So it was like she would tell me everything that she would be going through, which now they consider that after I studied being a psychologist, after I got my major in psychology, I studied a lot of the things. And culturally, that's something culturally that we do, but in psychology is something that it's not trauma dumping, but it's kind of like your parent, what do you call it when you project?
Okay.
You project the trauma and the responsibility onto your kid. And that creates like a lot of anxiety, tension. And I'm like, even though I say those things, I'm like, Mom, I'm not saying you did that to me. I'm just saying that there could be some reason as to why I'm such an anxious person. But now looking back at it, I am so grateful for it, regardless. Because it just allows me to know and to be more emotionally intelligent with how I communicate with people. And it's been very difficult with my daughter. Very.
Why?
Because it's
Is it how she is?
It's because, when you're doing it by yourself,
Yeah.
it gets hard.
It's always been you and your daughter?
Yeah, it's always been me. And then, I've had relationships, but it's not the same as like when your father's there.
Oh, yeah, because you'd be like, handle that. And you
Right.
walk away and you go take a bath and you lay down and father just does what
And
he
there's
has to
something
do.
about a daughter and their father.
There is a certain bond.
There's like, you need that safety. You need to create, for me, I feel like, and I'm not saying that should be the standard. I'm just saying that from what I have observed in my experience, when you have a father figure in a young little girl's life, there's a sense of like security.
Oh, 100%.
And that independence, like one thing that I have to appreciate my fathers for is always telling me, get your own shit, buy your own shit, don't depend on no man. So when you want to go, you go.
Please stop, because it's crazy. It's like my husband asked me, he's like, why do you do so much? And I said, you want me to be 100% honest with you? Because when I want to leave, I want to leave. That's why I do everything I do.
No, y que cuando la cosa no trabaja y no trabaja, nada dura para siempre.
Yo me quiero ir cuando yo me quiero ir. Yo no quiero decir que yo no me puedo ir porque este tigre hace todo y que paga todo y que no tengo un chele, que no tengo una cuenta. No, we're not doing that. When I want to leave, I want to leave.
Y la habilidad it's look, nothing is the same for everyone.
Oh no.
For me, it was difficult. There's always there was also, this is something, I'm being very, very vulnerable, transparent with you.
I appreciate
there was
it.
also something about me raising my daughter and losing my mom. So it's like,
Oh, your mom's no longer with us.
she passed when my daughter was like 4.
Oh, wow, that was early.
Yeah. So it was like, why do I have to raise a kid and then I'm not being raised?
Yeah, it's like now you have what's called, kind of like the orphan syndrome. It's like now you're alone in this world with my mom.
One moment to another. Like, I'm an orphan now. I got to take care of my daughter. And at that point, all you could do is survive. So it's like, come on, you have to know, and as much as I wanted to create, like my daughter got to go to Girl Scout. I don't know how I did it. Girl Scout, a good pre-K school. I was able to go on trips with her. I was able to go read.
You was hustling your ass
Honey,
off.
I would work from 11 at night, por ejemplo. Yo iba a la universidad. Trabajaba de las 11 hasta las 7 de la mañana. Iba a llevar a la hija mía en pre-K. Dormí y después iba a leer un libro. Para después trabajar otra vez. Like I would participate like with the parents because I didn't want to be the parent that doesn't do nothing. Yeah. And so now that even speaking about this, I forget so much that I have done because it's been so much on the go and such and so and so heavy.
It's a lot of
God.
weight to carry
A lot.
as a young woman, and then losing your mom, who's like your number one, like support
Yeah.
system. It's like you're alone. You're like, wow, I really got to do this by myself. Where were you living, in Brooklyn?
I was in Brooklyn. At the time, I was in Bay Ridge. No, I was in Flatbush because we lived in Flatbush. I lived in Sunset. That's what people. So
Yeah.
when I left Fort Greene, we moved to Sunset, and then from Sunset, I left to Miami. Came back, we was in Flatbush, but I've always had a family that lived in Flatbush, so I would spend a lot of the time in Flatbush.
Gotcha.
You know, we lived in Flatbush on Ocean. Vivimos ahí como por 5 años. Yo ayudaba a mi familia.
Where did you work when you lived in Brooklyn?
Oh my God, honey! You know how many jobs I've had,
Mucho?
honey.
Mucho? All along the same lines, or
Girl,
different
I was a
random shit?
telemarketer.
Okay, I was too at one point.
Caller, you know those calling cards?
Yeah.
I was the one when you called. Yeah, let me give you 5 cents for that drop call.
Oh,
And then I
gotcha.
became a supervisor doing that. Then I worked as a bartender. I worked at New York company retail.
Oh, the clothing store, yeah.
I've had so many jobs, and then when I finished college, I decided to work in the hospital.
Oh, yeah, so you worked at Monty, right?
I worked first at Methodist, which is in Brooklyn.
Mhm.
Then I worked at a surgery center. Then I ended up in Montefiore, in the operating room there. So all along, I've been like in the
So you're working, you're pursuing your bachelor's in psychology, and you're being a single mom.
single mom.
That's a lot. I'm tired just thinking
But I
about
have
it.
my boo
Dasha.
things, you know.
Oh, well, of course. We always gonna have something on the side, right?
Right.
Now, when did acting come about? Like, when did you think I could be an actress? Like, ¿eso te llegó a la mente o you just
Desde
stumbled on it?
chiquita.
Desde chiquita. Dime de ti cuando tú eras chiquita.
Yo me
Jodía mucho.
sentaba, mi amor, viendo las novelas.
Ok.
Muchachita, que yo conocí los otros de Angélica Vale.
Oh, sí.
Ay, Dios me I love her. Anyways, yo chequeaba la novela. One of my favorite movies was Coming to America, Home Alone, all those movies. Rockies are my favorite.
I
And I
love
got
the
to work
Rocky
with
movies.
Sylvester Stallone. Do you know how I felt? Con ese hombre al frente de mí tan oloroso.
No, yo me
Ese hombre un caballero oloroso. Y yo viendo ese hombre, yo digo, tú sabes que yo me ponía al frente de la televisión, ve tu película 100 times. But anyways, I've always wanted to do that. I've always sang, dance, acted, taking my little acting class. Decía, mami, yo quiero... Oye, yo puse a mi mamá en tanto lío. Dije, yo quería ballet. No pudo finish paying ballet, but I took a couple classes, ballet, tap, jazz, all that stuff. Y era algo que yo siempre sentía desde chiquita. Yo me ponía I was raised Catholic, did my communion, did my confirmation, all that. So I would get on my knees every night.
A orar.
Sometimes I would be on bed because yo le tenía miedo a los ratones. Pero, tú sabes, me ponía ahí. And I would just pray every day and do my Our Fathers and say, I want to be an actress. Please, God, give me the opportunity to just be an actress one day. And then, things happen. Life happens. I'm in the hospital. At the time, I was with who I thought I was going to marry. And it was something that I would always come home. And after being in the hospital, mind you.
This is the hospital when you gave birth? Or why you're in the hospital?
When I'm working.
Oh, okay, when you're working, okay.
Right, Montefiore, all that.
Oh, how did you feel? You're in the hospital and you're like, this is not for me. I want to be an actress.
Is that I was fly at it. I was as good as, like what I put my mind to.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, si tú vas a hacer algo, hazlo con orgullo y hazlo bien.
Okay.
Si tú no lo vas a hacer, no lo hagas. Y esa cosa que a mí me enseñaron, esa crianza, yo la aplicaba en todo. Cuando yo estaba en Montefiore, a mí me conocían en todos los lados, porque yo era una dura when it came to sterilization, toda esa vaina en the operating room, y abriendo y vaina y esto. Al mismo tiempo, I was getting my RN in LIU.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was doing
That's
my
my
clinicals.
school.
You went to LIU?
Yeah. Brookville, Long Island.
Oh, so I was going to the downtown the downtown Brooklyn campus.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, clinicals, doing that. Me consiguió otro trabajo. It was like I was doing the impossible. I was like, me? Never.
You were going to win.
Yeah.
That's what it was. You had that mentality of, yo, I'm going to make it.
Especially now when I have the energy. And I think it was losing my mom so young. My mom was 46. So losing her so young and suddenly it was like, I don't have much time. Like, I don't have much time. We think we're immortal, but we don't have much time.
It put your mind in a different perspective. You're like, I might have 20 years left. Like, I really got to get
You
on
might have
this.
2 days.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know. That's something that you could either take to your advantage or you could either use against you. And I've had hardships that have reminded me over and over what you say, your time, what's out of your control. Death is the only thing sure.
Eso seguro.
What is success? It's always reminding me that those are the things that really matter. Who you spend your time with. Like, me speaking about this is so necessary for us to have these conversations because it's like therapy. You know, being able to express that to people that don't really know. They just see the success. Like, oh my gosh, you've got an actress. Yes, I've always wanted to be an actress. But the only way that I had the chance was because I was in it. At the time when I was at the hospital and I'm in there and I'm in the operating room, I'm good at what I do, making my little money. I wasn't happy. I was too colorful. The scrubs, you know, I had my scrub hat, but I was too colorful. And I loved the patient, but it wasn't, you know, fulfilling me, like my soul. I put myself in, my partner at the time found a school and I invested in myself. If there's something I'm going to do, you know what? Yo no me voy a comprar zapatos, but yo me voy a comprar. I'm going to invest in the school.
I fucking love that. I love that. I love that. I love that.
And I did.
Because a lot of the times, you know, we spend all this money on different things. Que si una cartera, que si una vacaciones, que si unos zapatos. But then if you want to take a course and it's $2,000, you think it's a lot. No, it's not a lot. Invest in your future, in your craft, in what it is that you want to do. Where did you go to school? What did you do? Talk to me. Give me the inside scoop.
Started at Kingsborough, got my associates, ended up at Hunter, got my psychology in Hunter, my bachelor, and then I was working on my bachelor's and master's at LIU. So I didn't finish.
They have that accelerated program. That's the one I was in.
You were in that accelerated program?
Yeah.
Girl.
I did criminal justice, though. I wanted to be an FBI agent, and here we are.
And here we are.
Isn't that crazy? We have these ideas.
Do you ever get a feeling of going, like you want to do it again?
All the time. Listen, I cannot watch a TV show with a woman in a uniform, whether she be a sergeant, a lieutenant, an FBI agent, and I'm like, I would have been an amazing agent. It was either that or law school, but I feel like I would have been an amazing agent. Every time I watch a TV show, I'm like, that could have been me. That could have been me.
So what's your passion?
I don't know. It's just so all over the place. I love media. I love talking to people, but criminal justice really was my original passion. This all happened by mistake, but I love it, and I love existing in it.
Because sometimes even where you're supposed to be is not necessarily where you think you're supposed to be, right? Or where you've thought. People think that because you're so multifaceted, especially I feel like with women, that you're all over the place. And I don't feel like it's all over the place. I feel like I have the ability of doing so much. Why should I not? And I've always gotten that feedback like, oh, you got to stream. Yeah, okay, when you're focusing on something. But if I have the ability to do 3 things like I have, and I did it well. I put myself through school. I was on the dean's list. I worked my behind off. I got from a little tech to being a manager of like not regular operation, like super open heart surgery. You know,
gotta
like
be qualified for some shit like that.
You understand?
Yeah.
Like to being a nurse, I mean, to do my clinicals, to then being an artist and being able to say that at least I do it well. And I'm proud of what I've done. And I have to understand too that it keeps on ever evolving. Like education doesn't stop. Like there's times that I want to go back and say maybe I should just finish my clinicals and get my RN and be a traveling nurse.
Still now?
I was doing it the other day. I was like, let me see if I.
Oh my God, Dasha, that's so crazy.
When I'm not doing nothing, I feel bored. When I'm not doing nothing is I don't know how to not do nothing. I don't even like know how to take vacations. Like people might see me online, but it's like a quick thing. I'm doing something else. I'm not planning. I don't plan vacations. Honestly, I can't think of a time that I said, this is a vacation that I'm going to take. Never.
Overproductive?
I'm overproductive.
All the time you're on.
Mm-hmm.
Does it sometimes feel like overwhelming? Like, why am I doing all this? Like, what's going on? Like,
yeah. When life happens and when it's struck in your face and you're like, yeah, guess what? This is happening. You know, death. Or your daughter's having a kid. You know, or, you know, because people, it's a beautiful thing, but it's also a lot of responsibility. Now I have to worry about my daughter and also her child.
Is it a grandson or a granddaughter?
It's a little boy.
Cute. I
I'm
love
obsessed
that.
with him. He's so cute and delicious.
But now it's like now you have not just your daughter, but and
you know, I
your
have my son.
and your grandson. So your son is so cute.
Isn't he handsome?
He is so handsome. He doesn't look like you the way your daughter does, but he's so cute. What was that Parent magazine that you were in?
Yeah.
I loved those pictures when they came out. I was like, I love this.
I say that all the time. I say, people are like, oh, y'all look alike. I'm like, no, we don't. But people say we do. I'm very proud of both my kids. And my son is...
How old is your son now?
He's 16. He's graduating next year from high school.
Congratulations. I love that.
Thank you. He wants to go to college all the way in Portland.
Why not? Let him...
He's great at baseball, so that's what he's doing.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, he's
so
really
Dominican
good.
of him. Are they both fully Dominican or are they mixed?
They're both Dominican. His grandfather is Puerto Rican.
Okay.
My son's grandfather is Puerto Rican. I guess his father's half Puerto Rican, half Dominican.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
But baseball, it just runs in our blood. Whether it be Puerto Rico or Dominican.
He's very athletic. Never thought because he was like really chunky and fat when he was little. But
was baby fat.
basketball, swims like a fish, like plays a lot of sports, and he's just good at baseball. That's what he wants to dedicate himself to. He runs like crazy. He did track. I'm just glad that my kids did sports because I did sports.
You
My
did
daughter
sports?
played good ass basketball. I did softball in high school and in college.
I can see that for you.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that for you. And I'm glad your mom allowed you to, participate in sports. We were a house of 5. My mom was not trying to... 5 kids. My mom was like, no tengo tiempo para nadie. Just go to school and bring your ass home. But you know how important sports are, for your self-esteem.
But it's different in suburbs
Oh,
than
yeah.
here. In Miami, I was able to do it because,
Oh, you were in Miami.
I was in Miami. I wasn't going to play softball here. Well, I did in the high school, but it's not the same. Over there, they take sports serious. And the weather's different.
They have the outdoors. They have,
So we would go lunch or whatever after school. You running, you doing whatever it is, you practicing. It's
Miami
different.
loves you. It's weird. It's like Miami loves you. New York loves you. Dominican Republic loves you. No soy de aquí ni de allá. It's just like...
Yo soy de la gente.
And then we all want to claim you.
Todito. They could claim me. Yo soy del mundo. Ahora everybody could claim
They
me.
gave you the key to Miami, right?
Ay, they gave me the key to the city. Take county, baby.
Yo te vi.
Y dije, ¿qué es lo que esto abre? Esto abre un safe por ahí, dime. Dígame lo que esto abre. Que necesito abrir par de vaina. But I'm proud, It's like, ooh, it's a full life circle.
And we are proud of you.
Thank you.
You don't understand how proud we all are of you. Like Dominicanos, New Yorkers, the folks in Miami, forget about it.
Yeah.
They claim you too.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for that. I'm very grateful.
How do you feel today? I just pivoted into life coach mode. I don't know. I'm a life coach, right?
Are you a life coach?
Yeah, I'm a life coach.
You need to coach me, baby.
I got you. Whatever you want.
You need to coach me, honey.
I don't know why I just felt like asking you because, a lot of my sessions I start with, how do you feel spiritually today? Or what's bothering? What's in your heart today? I don't know why I just went into that mode with you.
Why? Because...
What's in your heart today?
In my heart. In my heart.
En tu corazoncito.
En mi corazoncito. I'm like... my heart is like...
Está guardadito.
like a marshmallow with M&M candy shell.
Does that mean it's very sweet?
It's very sweet and soft
Or
and tender, and you have to treat it delicately. But it has a shell on the outside.
Right now?
Right now.
Or it's always been there?
I guess it's always been there. I've always been very not publicly vulnerable.
Guarded?
I'm very guarded. But I talk about things, just like emotionally, expressing emotions. I always embarrassed of crying or doing things like that. Whatever. Because I'm very sensitive. And I've had to understand that.
How hard was it for you to open up and share with us? When you lost your partner, you put it out there. Now that you talk about vulnerability and emotion and your heart.
It's different.
As a collective, we all felt for you. It was just like,
Oh.
No, not my Dasha, no. That pain,
Yeah, because I'm not one to speak about my relationships publicly.
Yeah, so it's like we saw it and we saw you happy and it
Yeah.
was just like, ¿qué pasó aquí?
Sí, como que la gente como que sabía, pero nunca sabía. Pero no, ese era mi hombre, mi amor.
Ese era tu tigre, tú
Que
estabas
sí,
físico.
mi amor.
Tú estabas enamorada.
Yo estaba enamorada. Aunque tú sabes que uno tiene su problema, pero con ese tigre, mi amor.
Tú no cogías cuento con ese tigre, ¿right? No hablen de mi
I was
hombre.
Dracarys. Hello. No, porque tú sabes lo que pasa cuando una persona es bien contigo y te enseña lo que es I felt he loved me like my mom loved me.
Real. Raw.
Like, it don't matter what.
Se cuidaba.
Coño, ese hombre, si tenía que lavarme, me hubiera lavado. ¿Tú me entiendes?
That's love.
Like he cared, and I feel that a mí me tocó.
How crushed were you?
Ay, Dios mío, it's only been 3 years. It's
The pain is still very real, and there's some losses that you just never get over.
Yeah.
It forever hurts.
And plus that I didn't grieve my mom. How do you grieve? How do you grieve?
As a kid, you don't.
I'm like, when my mom passed, my mom passed May 18th, and I was working May 20th. It's like
I lost my father very young. I was 15, and he was sick for a very long time. And I remember just going to the funeral and then going home like, yeah, he's not sick no more. I didn't grieve. I just moved on. I went to high school. I was probably like in 11th grade or something. And I just went to school. There was never that process of I lost my father. I just knew he was gone one day. So I understand.
And you're in a sense of shock. So that happens, and then I have to survive, and then this happens all of a sudden, and then it's like things resurface that you wasn't aware that you was living with.
Unlocked trauma.
Right.
Yeah.
And the terms that they're used so loosely now, more so than ever. Great. But for me that I studied psychology, that I was experiencing things that I felt like I should suppress. Now with the loss of X, it was like, who do I speak to about this? And like speaking publicly about it, grieving publicly, not wanting people to see me like if I'm attracted to somebody, if I'm messing with somebody, if I'm fucking somebody. Like, I don't know if we could curse on you.
No, of course, yeah, you can.
But, if we're having sex or whatever it is, if I have a relationship, like moving on and not moving on and knowing that, like I have all his, like, whatever was left at that moment, I wanted to stay like that.
Like frozen in time.
Yeah, because you want to like hold on to certain things, and then there's moments where you just want to like, I need to celebrate him and not like, como que se dice, como
kind of like safe keep.
Como yo no puedo morir con lo que se han muerto. I have to maintain them more alive. Like them dying doesn't mean that they're necessarily dead.
No, that's just the body that's gone. But their spirit, their talent, their legacy, it never ceases to exist.
Yeah. And it's hard because publicly, I remember when he passed, I was doing like a book that I had to narrate, and then I was auditioning for stuff, and I had to be like this, and I'm like crying every day,
You had to turn it on. It was just like, okay, now make believe all this shit is not happening, and I'm not hurting, and I'm not tore up inside, and go narrate a book, like, or audition for a role.
And then people forget, you think that people will know, and then you're forgotten. When you're gone, you're forgotten. And for me, it was like, I don't want to forget him.
You want to keep him alive. In a way, it's kind of like, he was amazing. He was my heart. Just because he passed away doesn't mean he's gone. You're amazing. You're amazing because I see what you're doing here. You don't want him to cease to exist because his physical ceased to exist.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. I hope somebody does that for me too. Because I struggle with that a lot. Like when I'm gone, am I just gone?
Yeah.
Pero.
And I live with it, like I'm not embarrassed or anything. I'm just
There is
like,
nothing to be embarrassed.
Sometimes I cry and I get over it and I choke up and I'm like, whatever, this is something that I have to live with, and and it's sad because there's people that sometimes I ask myself, like, how come there's people that get to share their dream or whatever they're working towards? Because he was a producer and he got to share some of his stuff, but he was almost there.
So you
You
feel
know?
like his life was cut short before he got to really like exist in his greatness.
Yeah.
So that probably
And like for the world, I guess the world feels him through the songs that he was part of.
the music.
And
Yeah.
for those, you know, and even now I get mad at certain people that don't even mention him. And I'm like,
Why would you do that
just a little, just if you, just once maybe,
if you don't mind? Yeah.
you know. And I've like separated myself from his family as well, because it's like every time I go there, I'm like,
It brings back
girl.
a lot of emotion.
Yeah, and then, you know, it's different how people grieve.
Oh yeah, no.
¿Tú me entiendes? La gente cuando pierden un ser querido, no todo el mundo está preparado mentalmente para eso. The, the, the pain is compared. Like, well, you know, that was my brother or that was my son. And then it's like, that was just your...
Like I should hurt more because
Yeah.
I was closer to him. No,
Yeah,
I
and
love
it's
them
like-
just.
You know, so I'm not in the game to like compare pain, and I understand that I don't judge it, but I feel like out of respect I keep my, you know, I keep to myself, and people that really care about him. Like I didn't want this to be all about,
No.
but this is part of my life.
It
you
is,
know, and
it
this is
is.
something that I,
And
when
it's
you ask
something
me
that
how
was-
I am, this is what I think about. Like there's certain people that I'm like, yo, I want to talk about him so much and remember him. And then there's some people that I'm like, yeah, I don't like you because however you were with that. You know, these are things that you go through when people die, even with my mom. Uno como que crea como un sense, como el deber de yo dejarte saber a ti, como que, I don't like that you did that. Or...
I'm very big on that. I'm very big on like, and sometimes it creates resolution also, because holding things in and not confronting things, it just creates kind of like, you know, kind of like resentment that lives forever.
Y te enferma.
Oh, claro que sí, eso te pone mala. Tú sabes lo que tú levantaste todos los días queriendo decirle una vaina a una gente y no diciéndosela.
Mi amor. Y loca por uno decirle par de dicho.
My husband be like, oh, you like conflict. I'm like, it's not that I like conflict. It's just, Dasha, when you said this, I didn't like it. It made me feel a certain way. And you know what? You might be like, honey, I did not mean it. And then we fix it and we move on.
Y tú sabes que yo me pongo icky with stuff like that. Like, I don't even want to tell someone. I'm like, just forget it.
Just forget.
I run away from it. But it's so necessary. It's very necessary. Because you become passive aggressive.
Oh, 100%. Desde que llega la gente, you're like, no me
no.
hable. Why is this person in my space?
Tú me entiendes. Y uno... Pero mira, esa fue una cosa que me pasó. Yo lloro yo lloro. A mí no me importa, yo lloro cuando yo hablo de esa gente. Pero fue algo que me pasó que también como mujer...
Mm-hmm.
I have my 2 kids. I thought that, you know, my father was he was getting out of jail in May. He passed February 3rd. My father was getting out of jail in May. We wanted to get married en Santo Domingo, todo blanco. Yo hice un coro, una vaina que nadie supera, blanco. Nosotros nos vamos a casar.
Ese ya tú tenías tu plan. Ese era
Mi
tu
plan.
tigre, tuyo.
Sí, ese era mi tigre. Es mi tigre como quiera, porque, hello.
Bueno.
Pero no fue así. Entonces ahora el que yo comenzar de nuevo, el yo darle la oportunidad a otra gente, you know, you find yourself comparing, like un tigre que me abría la puerta, yo no abría ninguna puerta, yo no tenía que abrir ninguna puerta, cargar nada,
Qué chulo.
sobame los pies, no me tenía asco.
Estaba para ti ese.
Ay, Dios mío. Como él hablaba, hay gente que me dice, ¿cómo ese hablaba de ti? Anyways, the point is que now as a woman, it's scary. I'm older. ¿Tú me entiendes? I'm an actress. I'm an artist. I want to do so many things. And it's great to be alone. Yes, okay. Pero yo también quiero tener una pareja.
Oh,
I
claro
want to
que
give
sí.
my... Like, I don't believe that by me knowing what real love is and that's my soulmate, that because he's not here, that I can't have someone and experience another type of love. You understand? I'm never going to experience that love. That love está
love was
sagrado. Ese
unique.
love está cerrado con la llave de Dade County. Está cerrado, eso es.
Su comida aparte, como decimos nosotros.
Y el que me quiera me va a querer con eso porque es parte de mí. Eso es parte de mí. Y entonces, ahora no puedo decirte que spiritually I'm in the best place as far as like hope, as far as like where my career is going, where my love life is going, where like time, where's how much time. So there's a lot of things that I know are out of my control, but I still think about because these are the cards that I'm dealing with. These are the circumstances that are in front of me.
You're playing, the hand that was given to you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'm just glad that, you were able to experience this type of love, connect, find your soulmate. It sucks that he was taken from you so early and that you weren't able to grow old with him. But I really hope that, he taught you how you need to be loved so that you never, ever, ever take any love lesser than what he gave you.
And guess what?
What?
That being said, it opened up a lot of interest. And also, it made me more brave in speaking about the relationships that I've been, that I come across that tend to be emotionally, physically abusive. Because he came into my life in a point where I had already experienced what domestic violence was and what physical and emotional abuse was, and everything wasn't quiet. Porque yo nunca vi. For some reason, I don't speak. It's shame. It's embarrassment. While I'm shooting orange or while I'm doing whatever, I'm, Versace, I'm getting a black eye. And people have no idea. And all these things happen. And I feel like we don't speak about the importance of emotional and physical abuse and how we, hide it.
We're embarrassed.
It's like we don't, and I feel like it was my responsibility to say, yes, I am someone that has experienced that. And that I want to speak more about that because I see it every day. Even like in the relationships that I've had after, even with this situation, even in passing, how people speak to you, it's just, and what we tolerate, what we accept. There was a point that I'm like, this is what I deserve because I didn't appreciate him as much. Like you take people for granted. But I'm like, I get checked, like I have something that tells me, girl, you don't know when somebody's going to die. It's not like...
It's not something we can predict.
Right.
And it's something that's certain for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Some of us go young. Some of us, my grandmother was 99, but then we have children that die at 3 days old. It's something that's certain.
Right.
But yeah, when it comes to domestic violence, at what point did you say, I'm going to say this out loud and I'm going to say, it's something I've experienced?
I've been thinking about it the last couple of months. I've been looking more and reading more upon it because there's a lot of things that happen, especially in DR, and then there's a lot of skeletons or self-suppression that I've done that I feel like I got to talk about it. And I don't ever want to mention the man that did it. I don't know why. Or the people that I've came across and have experienced that. Because it's just not, I feel like I give them light.
Of course.
In somewhere. I'm like, no, there wasn't, I've been abused. I've been physically abused. And it fucks with you because then you're in a relationship that is so good and you're so resistant. You're so hesitant to do certain things because you're like, wait, are you trying to control me? Or are you trying?
Your guard is up.
All the time. And so being able to speak about that and say, like, this is not what it's supposed to be. And you shouldn't be ashamed of it. And hearing things that are happening now with, with certain situations and friends that I know, and even in the industry, there's a lot of people that go through it that don't speak up about it because they're scared, they're ashamed of it, and
it's friends, it's families, it's our aunts, it's our mothers sometimes, and we see it, and just nobody is really willing to become the face of, I was abused, because sometimes there's that, victim shaming. Well, you were abused because you stood. Look at the Cassie situation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
eso es lo que yo estaba hablando. Yo no sé si tú querías mencionarlo, pero eso es lo que yo digo, que todo el mundo, everybody, tú sabes, te la llevaste rápido, tú te la llevas rápido, por eso que me gusta chismear con la gente.
Inmediatamente. Like, ¿cómo que ustedes están encojonados con Cassie?
Es que todo el mundo, por eso es que yo me quillo con el internet, por eso que no me gusta hablar mucho, no me gusta hablar a los tigres.
Uh-huh.
No me gusta hablar de los tigres también que me tira por DM ni de esa vaina, ni tener esa vaina pública, porque yo puedo tirar muchos tigres al aire.
No vamos a hacer eso hoy.
No, porque no es de ellos, es de mí.
Claro que sí.
Pero lo que estoy diciendo es que es algo que yo he pasado y yo entiendo, porque uno le da miedo, uno le da vergüenza. Uno dice, coño, ¿cómo yo llegué aquí? Y cómo yo también estoy participando, porque, you know, speaking to my therapist also allowed me to understand that when you start doing it too, you know, that self-defense, you starts playing with you. Like when you are with narcissistic people, your reaction becomes a thing of like questioned. So of doubt within you. Like, why am I reacting this way? Pero si a ti te están jalando los cabellos y si a ti te están ahorcando, ¿qué tú quieres que uno haga? Yo lo que quiero es que agarre uno, darle por los granos, una vaina o darle.
Of course, I'm gonna fight back. It's either you or me. I'm not gonna let you take me out.
Y todavía, después que eso pasa, se calma la tormenta y uno está como que, ¿tú quieres comer? Se acostumbra uno a esa normalidad, ese up and down. And I'm like, why? Like, do I not know how worthy I am? Why am I wasting time with people just talk about like, oh, would you date a regular dude? No, it's not about like socioeconomic status, but it also is about like the ambition, the sense of wanting to like be someone.
That drive.
Like, I don't want to be with nobody else that's like, no, yo no quiero estar con regular, yo quiero gente que estén haciendo vaina.
Como tú, because si tú eres eléctrica all day long, better
porque para uno estar con una gente que no tenga nada y también te esté dando golpe y también te quiere controlar y también se siente inseguro de ellos mismos porque tú estás ahí, hay gente y hay hombres que se ven bien y tú estás en un evento.
Suelta esa vaina.
No, yo no quiero nada de eso.
Y que tú no te lo mereces. You know what I'm saying?
Esa es la parte que tengo que aprender, that I am worthy and I don't deserve that. I deserve to be able to be excited, to be like
contentito.
To be excited to cocinarle un tigre, mira mi tigre, como yo le hacía, mira que coman con gusto y yo chequearlo y come todo ese arroz, come.
¿Te gusta para ver la comida?
Sí, aunque tú quieres morir, déjame eso tú morir soñando, ven, una totada, tú quieres ven, que disfrute, que yo quiera hacer las cosas, te voy a poner una batica por ti.
A mimar a tu tigre.
Es que I'm all about equality, but I'm also about like, let me be in como my girl Ari Lennox, en my soft girl era.
Oh, claro que sí. Mira, yo soy así, yo trabajo el día entero y después en la noche.
Sóbame los pies. Sóbame los pies, sóbame.
Dame un masajito.
Ay, sí.
And I reciprocate. Trust me, I'll be like, you want a massage?
Es que,
you want me to cook? Like, I feel you 100%.
It has to be that way. And what better than when you in a relationship and you're with somebody that uplifts you, you feel safe around, that you're both like getting yours, you're both working towards something. Tú no lo tengo yo, tú lo tienes.
It's a partnership.
Coño. Y ya que yo sé lo que es eso, yo no quiero nada menos que eso.
Ain't no going back for you.
Yo no quiero un tigre que me diga, you dumb bitch, I don't want no.
¿Será loco que tú estás?
No. No. Ahora, nosotros estamos en la cama y estamos haciendo el amor, estamos, tú sabes, ok. Pero de tú y yo, no, I want you to treat me like if I'm your most precious.
You're a treasure. You're a treasure. Tú eres un tesoro. I am your most prized possession, because I'm not your possession, but you know what I mean. It's just like white glove treatment.
That white glove.
Póntelo los dos. No uno solo, póntelo los dos y cuídame a mí bien.
Yeah, it's like, and it shouldn't take for, like, hablando se resuelve todo.
Oh, claro que sí.
Y yo he tenido que aprender eso porque yo rápido, mira, rápido. A mí no me gusta esta vaina, que no me... Pero hablando, even going back to when I told you about my daughter, like how we bump heads, now we're in such a better place because I decided to say, and she did too, but I decided to say, I have to figure out how to communicate better, that it does not come off in a way that's attacking or making her feel less than. Mi hija, vamos a trabajar entre cuando tú y yo no hablemos. Tú eres una mujer ya hecha y derecha y yo también. Yo soy tu mamá. I want the best for you. Let's work on that. Let me apologize for me offending you, not being the best mother. And I hope that you accept that as my apology. And let's work towards that. And ever since I sent her that text, by the way, because it wasn't, because you know, ¿Qué te puedo decir? I send her that text and it's so much better. And I want that to be like the foundation and the structure of who I decide to be with, whether it's in a romantic, whether it's the friends around me, whether it's like my colleagues, whoever. I want to have a really healthy communication, an open door. It's so important for us to communicate more effectively and be just less on the defense.
And you're breaking cycles. You're breaking, learned behavior. Because it does come a lot from, our parents. Maybe they weren't the best communicators. Maybe they were aggressive with the way they spoke. And it was just like, you do this, no questions asked. Yo soy la que mando. So it's like, there was no communication. Like, I couldn't sit down and speak to my mom about why she wanted me to do anything or why she thought my life should be led. It was just whatever she said. And I had to take it.
I see.
And it was aggressive. So what you're doing now is just, you're changing the way your daughter is going to be with her son. And that's what we need. So that all those, toxic traits that we might have, been passed down cease to exist.
Y tú sabes que that I've been observing my daughter more, and I'm so proud. I must say that I'm really proud. She's a better parent than me. She has such patience, como ella le habla. She reads a lot. She Googles, she researches like certain things of how to. And I'm like, you know what? I'm very proud that you're able to do that. I'm really proud of being able to also witness my daughter doing that.
How proud are you?
Come on.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
This is your work. Your daughter is your work.
Come on.
You're proud of her. You should be proud of you.
I gotta be proud of me too. I'm gonna take some credit, Sonny. Take some credit.
Proud of you. And we are proud of you. Like, it's so crazy. It's like, Dasha's you the man. You the woman.
Right.
Talk to me about acting. That was the question. we just did this whole lap around the sun.
Ese que nosotros hablamos.
And I love it. I love it. Was Orange your first gig? Like, what was your first acting gig?
My first acting gig was Gimme Shelter. It was a movie with James Earl Jones, Vanessa Hudgens, Brendan Fraser, and I've had a couple little lines, like maybe 1-2 lines. Hello, how are you? My name was Carmel. That was my first movie that I booked ever.
Beautiful.
Professionally. Then I booked like a couple of guest stars in shows. And then a year later, when I decided to not want to act no more, because I was like, I can't do this and not make money. I have to work.
¿Tengo que trabajar?
Estaba trabajando. LIU. I had my 2 jobs at the time. Long Island College Hospital was open. I would work there, and I worked in Montefiore in the Bronx, and I was still living in Brooklyn.
Pero ven acá, how?
I don't know how I did it, girl. I don't know how I did it. I don't even know. Now when I look at it, I'm thankful that I had my brother, my sister, and then my man at the time. These people also helped me because they were my support group. Like when I had to go somewhere, nos ayudábamos. Éramos como 6 en una casa.
Oh, yeah. So you had a tribe.
Yeah, entonces nos quedábamos, yo tengo que ir, los muchachos están aquí, que si esto, me ayudaban, nos ayudábamos todito, y sin ellos yo no lo hubiera podido hacer, pero I found a way to get it done. And at the time, I was at a crossroad because I was going to leave Montefiore to stay at the job in Brooklyn because everything was so much closer. And I got the call to go audition for Orange, and I was like, all right, I'll do it.
You had a manager, or who called you?
I had a manager.
Okay, chula.
And they call me. I go to the city, go about my business, and I get a call from my manager at the time. Hey, they want to see you again. But I always say this story that at the time I had clinicals, and you cannot call out from clinicals. So I had to tell my boss, hey, can you think it's possible that I take a day off or whatever? And then at my nursing director, I told her, hey, do you think I could make up some things? And she let me. It was like everything worked out for me to go to I emailed the casting director. I told him, hey, do you think that you could give me a later call, or maybe I could come in? She said, come in Saturday. That also happened, which never usually happens. I don't recommend it either. Eso estaba para mí. Cuando yo fui, yo audicioné el sábado, el mismo lunes me llamaron, you booked the part. They want you to, but I had to make decisions like this.
Rápido.
I went to my Brooklyn job. I said, yo, you think that you guys can accommodate me? I'm not going to be shooting every day. The guy was like, absolutely not.
Está bien, no hay problema.
I said, then I got to go. I resigned.
Good for you.
My nephew was more flexible. I was a manager, so I got my supervisor to do my shift and blah, blah, blah. And I was able to do Orange. I finished shooting Orange. And then I'm still working at the hospital. Nobody knew.
What is it, the pilot that you finished shooting?
No, the whole season.
The whole
Because
season.
at the time, they were doing the season for Netflix. At the time, it was only House of Cards. Netflix didn't have no other shows.
How crazy
There
is
was
that?
no Hulu. There was nothing.
crazy
No
is that?
streaming. Orange was like the second show, but was the most important show of streaming ever.
Ever.
In my opinion.
No, that show is iconic.
And I did not even realize
What you were doing, right?
Absolutely not. I was just having fun. I was in there like, oh my God, I'm in a show, I'm acting. I don't know what it was.
That's the same thing that Elizabeth Rodriguez said. She said, I read and I was like, well, it's just for Netflix or whatever. And she had no idea like what this was gonna be.
And a lot of them had already been in the industry and been fulfilling what they dreamed of doing, you know. They were actors.
Yeah.
A lot of the women that I was surrounded, that was their main.
How lucky were you?
I was very lucky and very blessed to be around because I learned a lot. I learned a lot from being thrown out there in a show. You know,
How
from
old were you?
The vocabulary.
In your 20s?
Yeah, I was in my 20s.
Una muchachita.
Yeah, with a lot of responsibilities that nobody knew about. Because, you know.
Who would have guessed?
I'm very youthful. I come off very youthful. I didn't even realize that. College, nobody knew I had a kid. I would tell people I'm a mom, but nobody would believe, nah, you're not a mom, please. Even now, people are like, oh, you're a grand. No, you're not. I'm very youthful in my spirit.
And
so
in your looks. You look absolutely
Thank you.
amazing. That
Thank
skin
you.
is skinning, honey.
Mi amor. Tuve un par de problemitas con acné, mi amor, o dos acné que me pasó con todo este estrés, porque eso es lo que pasa, que uno tiene que cuidarse uno.
Cuando ese cortisol sube, se jode todo.
Ay, Dios.
And that's stress. But
Pero yo en eso aprendí mucho de todas estas mujeres. Regardless of how racially diverse it was, I learned a lot from a lot of them. And I've gained a lot of friends from that show.
no, yo me imagino.
And
How many seasons did you guys do?
7.
That's a lot.
It was a great thing to be part of. And it also taught me that success even now. Because I reached out to you about certain things that I find that we don't speak about. Culturally, I don't know if you can relate to that, but el dominicano, el éxito, the success is attached to the financial ability.
Oh,
the
claro que
freedom.
sí. ¿Qué casa tú tienes? ¿Qué carro tú tienes? What club do you belong to? Yeah.
And necessarily that's not the truth for a lot of us actors in Hollywood. You know, some of us do. Some of us have the opportunity that they get catapulted and they get supported by the network and by, you know, that's their journey. And for whatever reason, that's their access to certain things. And they're able to be financially well off. For some of us, no. For some of us, the success is not determined by finance. It's determined by being part of something that nobody can take away from you. Like the success that Orange brought me was that it allowed me to have the platform where people visually, regardless of the language, wherever they were, experiencing or not, can connect with me and felt inspired by me. And whatever I expressed on that screen, whether you're in Germany, whether you're in India, whether you're in
Every language in the world.
they're able to like, coño, esta muchachita que hizo mi papá y mi mamá, chiquita, así que trajeron aquí, está gordita. El mundo la conoce.
El mundo entero.
Y el que no la conoce, la conocerá.
For sure. 'Cause the girl downstairs in security, she can't be more than 18. And I said, can I give you some names from some people that are coming? And I gave her the name. And then I said, and Dascha Polanco. She said, she's from Orange is the New Black, right? And I was like, yeah. And she's like 18 years old.
You believe that? Hasta los de 12 años, 13 años a veces me paran. My mom loves you. And I'm like, ay, qué cosa más. ¿Tú le puedes tirar una foto a mi mamá? Qué cosa más.
You're going to live forever. You're immortalized with this show forever. And, you know,
amazing.
your body of work, you know, is more than Orange. But Daya is just...
Dayanara.
I love
Esa muchachita. And my daughter got to act in it too.
I know. She played like the younger you, right? Even though you look young as hell in the show anyway.
Yeah, she played. There was scenes that they required for her to be younger, and they casted her.
You were like, páguenmele a mi hija, que ella
Claro, mi amor.
ella igualita a mí anyway,
Que le lleguen
tráiganla.
los mismos chequitos que me llegan a mí.
Claro que sí. How are those checks, like Netflix checks? Like, is it forever and ever and ever, or do you get paid like one time for your acting? How does that work?
Yeah, it's like it's different for streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know all the details, but you get paid per episode.
Okay. And it comes like all the time, or it's one time?
No, one time, girl.
Okay, I don't know.
Because the residuals are not.
Di que tú ni abres eso, di que dejen eso ahí.
See, los residuals no tan son, and it also depends on the contract you have. It's all depending on who's who, but you know.
You were so young. Do you feel like your contract was what it needed to be? But then again, at that time, nobody knew what Orange was going to be, right?
No, and nobody knew what it was gonna do. You know, and also, we have to. There's not as much opportunities for across the board for everyone. You create your own opportunity, and you can see it historically. Diversity is like something that's now, you know, and I don't want to just be like playing one role, right? I want to have the opportunity to play many roles. But because of that stereotypical role, it opened up the door for me to be able to play in other things, you know, and to be directed by Scorsese.
The Irishman.
Like, how could I be directed by Scorsese?
Can we talk about this? When I saw you, I was like, wait, Pacino?
And it's me,
De Niro? Pesci?
and it's me doing like blood pressure, like how life does things, right? Like, cogiéndole blood pressure.
It was really you.
Me.
How did that happen? Because when I was just watching The Irishman, and then I'm like, what am I seeing right now? Is this Dasha?
Eso pasó que I auditioned. I told, like, I don't need, like, I auditioned. And now, but I had already done a movie with De Niro.
Okay.
With
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence, with David O. Russell. Like, I have to remind myself that I've worked with a lot of,
You have?
like,
the
iconic.
the big ones.
I have
Scorsese? Like, just being
I have a hefty resume. You know what I mean?
Is that the Godfather voice? I want to know.
I don't know. I feel like if I imitate one of the gangsters from The Godfather,
Yeah.
they would
Marlon
do
Brando
this.
for sure. I'm getting it right now.
You see? Pero, I mean, it's so cool to be able to say, like, oh, sí, yo trabajé con Sylvester Stallone.
Like, how big is that?
It's great. I cried every time. Let me tell you, every time I book these things, that I'm like, oh my God, si mi mamá estuviera aquí, ella viera eso, mi papá cuando sepa esto. Como que it's something for me to like, como, no sé, como que un orgullo para mí poder trabajar con esta gente.
No, claro que sí. Mira, es un orgullo para las mujeres, para las latinas, para los New Yorkers, para los dominicanos. Like, you encompass so many different people that when you feel proud, we feel proud. Is your father home now?
Yeah, my father, ¿sabes que lo deportaron para allá para Santo Domingo?
¿O suelta allá en la República?
Sí.
How proud is he of you? ¿Qué dice él?
Se pasa.
No, yo me imagino ese
Tú me
hombre.
puedes mandar el Netflix, papi, que yo no te puedo mandar mi password de Netflix, papi. Te voy a mandar para que tú puedas ponerlo en la cosa, registrarlo. No, but he's very proud. But my father has always been proud of me since I was little. He's
How
always
long
been
was he
proud.
away?
Oh, he was away for a long time.
So how is it reconnecting now as an adult? Like,
Um,
was it hard? Did you feel like a disconnect, or you felt like you were still close to him?
I think that it was hard for us. Like, there's a sense of like a little resentment.
You with him?
Yeah.
Like, why did you do this that took you away from me?
Yeah, like, because there was a lot of there was a lot of fear
Mhm.
and lack of like good support in like defending him in the case,
Okay.
you know, and so,
As far as like the legal system goes?
yeah,
Oh, well, of course. Like, that's what happens to us.
right. So it's like, papi, tú no tenías que hacer eso, and so,
He accepted like a plea deal that you felt like he didn't need to?
yeah.
I know.
So there's a lot of other things in the case that I'm like, what the hell? Like, why would you do that? But anyways, the point is,
But you reconnected with him.
I've always, but yo siempre he dicho a mi papá, y siempre le he dicho, yo siempre estoy orgullosa de ti. Porque al fin y al cabo, tú eres mi papá.
And you
Y
did your
con lo que
time.
tú pudiste hacer, tú me enseñaste a mí. Tú no eres perfecto. Mi mamá no fue perfecta, pero I'm proud of my parents. My
They-
parents worked. Factory. Llegaron aquí, no hablaban inglés.
Tú sabes lo que llega a un país que tú no hables la...
Ni
Eso es
yo-
como que tú y yo digamos de que vamos a mudarnos para Alemania ahora. And we don't
Con
speak,
miedo.
we don't speak German.
Pero ven acá, a mí lo que me salva es que la gente me conoce a mí. Por eso cuando yo voy a Germany, tú sabes, hablan con su alemán, pero
I don't even like to travel in places. Like, when I've been to France, I'm like, so like, they don't understand me.
right,
Imagine
right,
moving
it's
to a
it.
country and just figuring it out without the language.
It's
I'm not built.
hard.
I'm
It's
not built.
brave.
It is brave. And, we got to give them that. Ustedes hicieron lo que hicieron, and they did it for us,
Eso coge mucho, mira, yo no sé cómo la gente lo hacen, porque yo, después que a mí me trajeron aquí, para yo dije que irme para otro país, para sí, que
Nunca.
no, mi amor, que no.
Ni Dubai. A mí no me importa. I'm not going nowhere
Bueno,
where I
me
don't speak the
pagan
language.
cuarto, sí, pero es otra cosa, yo ahora con pagan cuarto, tú sabes.
Bueno, you know what I mean. Tú sabes.
Pero tú sabes
De que mudarme para empezar.
no es lo mismo. Ella trabaja en una factoría. Mi papá
Bueno.
trabaja en una factoría. I call my father, mi papá es un ingeniero sin graduarse. Mi papá solda. Mi papá make stuff. Él en la cárcel me mandaba vaina que él hacía de madera.
Ay, qué chulo.
Like, amazing. And I feel like a lot of our Latin immigrant, beyond Latin, they come here and they sacrifice a lot, even what they know, their abilities,
Oh, yeah.
to do something just to sustain themselves and to like survive. And I admire that from my father and my mom. You crazy? You can't take that away from me ever. I don't care. Like, there's poems, pero tu papá estaba preso. ¿Qué me importa? Mi papá estaba preso. ¿Y? Toditos nosotros no hacemos vaina que no estamos supuestos de hacer.
La cárcel está llena de americanos.
Pero ven acá.
Who cares?
Que todo el mundo, everybody makes a mistake and everybody, we do little crimes. Just because you haven't been caught doesn't mean you're not.
That's what I was going to say. Just
Come on now.
White collar crime is rampant. Que los taxes, que esto, que
There's a
que
lot of
ya.
motherfucking crime.
Oh, of course. All day
Okay.
long. Crimes is being committed in every office across America. They're just not getting caught.
Y yo, por eso a mí no me importa. Mi papá es mi papá y yo muy orgullosa de mi papá.
Amen.
And that's it.
I'm glad he's home and I'm glad you're connected with him.
Yeah, me too. O sea, que tengo un hermano. Mi hermano también sufría de esquizofrenia.
What's that?
Schizophrenia.
Oh.
Yeah, it came as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, and he was like,
That can happen? Like,
Yeah.
you become schizophrenic as an adult? Was it a trauma or something? Like something
that's
happened?
what they say, but it was, he was messing around with substances, and then
Oh, that triggered something. I've heard that in the past.
and he was missing. To me, missing, right? I thought, and he just hit me up while I was shooting The Walking Dead, and that was a sense of like relief for me in my life.
Oh, good for you.
Because I was like, oh, my brother, he hit me up, so now we're talking again.
All the pieces are coming together.
Yeah, it's just family's what family is, regardless. As long as you respect each other and as long as like there's room for growth.
And reconciliation.
And
also.
reconciliation.
I tell people all the time, it's okay. We're humans. We're going to make mistakes. If we talk it out and we come together and we're like, I'm sorry you felt this way, or I'm sorry I did this, there's always room to move forward. Yeah. Family is like a tapestry. It's like a quilt. We're all different colors, different shapes, different patterns. But once you put it all together, te puedes ropa, and it's nice and warm
It
under
becomes
there,
a
right?
Persian rug.
Hey, there you go. You feel me. You feel me. You feel me. In the Heights was one of the roles, that I felt like you had the most fun shooting, or am I wrong? It just looks so fun.
It was fun.
Right?
It was fun. I was dancing, singing, and acting.
Broadway. A musical.
I didn't get to see it on Broadway. So for me to be part of the movie, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool.
It's super cool, right?
Yeah.
I was so glad, when that project came to the big screen and the amount of money that they put behind it. I was like,
Yeah.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, genius.
I see.
Lo amo. I saw In the Heights in the theater. And it was
Because it came during COVID.
No. I'm talking about Broadway theater.
Oh, tú lo viste en Broadway Theater, mi amor.
Yes, hello.
Claro. Ay, pero eso dije que era buenísimo.
I'm going back. Yeah, I know. Usnavi. I remember that. It was just, I felt so connected. Anytime that anything Latino comes to Broadway, I'm a Broadway girl. I've seen musicals, probably like 40, 50 musicals. Like, that's just my jam. And I remember when In the Heights came, I was like, this is amazing. This is for us. And when they brought it to the big screen and I saw you, I was like, yes, my girl. Because I've always identified a lot with you, with the body, with the Dominican, with being from New York. So it's like, you're my girl. When I see you in a project, I'm like, I'm in that project. Yes, thick girls. Cuando yo te vi in the heights, yes, I said, yes, nalgona.
Ah.
Muévelo, mami, coño, muévelo.
Concha, yo no sabía que yo me veía tan nargona hasta ahora.
You look good.
I always had that problem.
Yes,
My uniform,
Vicky.
always shorter in the back. It was very special for me to do that because I was shooting in the Heights, in Washington Heights.
Yo me recuerdo el reguero que había que, no, que está en la película, que la película, que la
Ay,
película.
sí. Y poder enseñar como que, I can move. I can,
You're fluid. Your body was fluid. Because with Daya, you were very
y
like...
nuestra bandera, cuando toda esa bandera están ahí, como que...
Feels so good, right?
Cónchale. Yo canté mi bandera y mira, ese escudo. Díganme, llegamos.
Ain't nobody was fucking with you in that movie. I'll tell you that much.
Thank you.
I don't know if it was because I love you so much. I was just so focused. I was like,
But there's something that I feel like that I thought about, then before I forget. I have always been conscious about growing up in an urban community.
Okay.
And I think that when I first started out auditioning in Hollywood, that was something that was, that was a feedback. Oh, she's a little bit too urban. And I love my urbanness. I love that we can talk about, like, we're in Brooklyn and we're here and we're going to do this and then we're going to go to Broadway and then,
people come from everywhere in the world to New York. Like, people die to come here.
Like, we were swiping our hair to the right with Mad Gel. All these baby hairs that everybody does, we've been doing that.
We're originators. But I feel you with that. She's too urban. I remember I auditioned for a radio show at Sirius XM. And I sent in my air check, which is kind of like my audition. And they were like, she sounds too New York. Can you go back and do it again and sound less New York? And I'm like, how the fuck is that possible? And I remember wanting the job and going in and redoing it. I didn't know how I was going to sound less New York, but I figured, okay, let me just not put too much sauce on it. And I sent it again, and they were like, oh, she still sounds too New York. And you know what I said? I don't want the fucking job. Peace the fuck out. I am New York. How am I going to strip who I am so I can get a show? And I understand the show was going to be nationwide, and they didn't want people to be like, I'm listening to a girl in New York, but guess what? I'm proud of being from fucking New York. And I said,
and
I don't want this shit no more.
They have everybody from all over.
Peace. Granted, this is like 9 years ago, but I remember them trying to tell me, can you be less New York? No, that's not a fucking thing, bro. I can't be less than what I am.
And can you believe that I even have had to like audition for things and then I'm like, first of all, what's a true American accent, right?
There isn't
because
one.
It could be a Southern, because they're Southern belles, honey.
It's super country shit that I don't understand.
Yeah. Like when you go to Louisiana, New Orleans, I think they're like close to how we talk a little bit, but they have a little, when they start talking Creole.
I couldn't. I've been to Louisiana and I was just like, I'm having a hard time understanding some people.
So it becomes a thing of why not make that a voice of America? You know what I mean? Like maybe this is a voice that America needs to hear more versus like, oh no, that's too urban or that's too New York. It could be New York. Like,
why not?
There's New Yorkers that move to Oklahoma. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me sometimes. And I get it. We want to be as authentic as we can be, but you're stripping me from my authenticity. Especially like when you're doing radio and stuff like that. And I get like for roles sometimes like I have to like do standard American accent, or I have to be more like put the Spanish in it, or tú puedes hacer una vaina más neutra.
Yeah,
I get it.
Definitely, because it's what you're portraying, and you're portraying a character.
Right.
Which sometimes is like, that's not who the character is.
Right. But everything is malleable when you're in control of making those things, right? Unless it's like a biography.
Well, yeah. That right there is just like, nah. Like when you're portraying a real human, good luck to you. Because you have to learn, everything about them, their mannerisms. There's no playing with it.
Right. There's
pretty
no
much
room for it. Pero yo, I'm owning a lot of stuff. I think in
where are you right now? Music. Can we talk music?
Yeah.
Please.
I've been making music for the last couple of years.
What would you label your genre? Who got you into music? Can we talk about it?
So I used to write raps when I was little. I found my little rap diary that I had.
Mentirosa. ¿Tú tienes tu rap?
Sí, porque tú sabes que uno, imagínate, that's what you were listening to, what you relate more here, growing up here was hip hop, or
no, but I can't believe you have the book. That's what I can't believe.
And it's just one little book that I found with little things, because everything else, I don't know where it is. But anyways, always, performer was in me. Just singing, all that wasn't like accessible to me. You know, you don't, maybe in the chorus, I used to sing in church in Hallelujah, all that stuff, you know, pero nunca fue algo que yo cogí en serio o que pensé que lo podía hacer. Igual como lo acting. Entonces, when I became an actress and I was like, yo, I should do music because I want to write music. I want to hear my music in shows, you know, or perform. I want to be in a festival and perform. Hey, you know, like.
You want to perform?
Of
now?
course I want to perform.
Like now?
Yeah, I want to perform.
You want to perform? We have a stage at the 116 Festival. Do you want to perform there?
I would love to.
Or you're not ready for that?
I don't know if I'm ready. Let's hear the music. I'm going to show you the music.
You tell me. We make it happen.
So I have a lot of music that I've been recording and working on and writing. I went to Berkeley Online because I wanted to be taken serious, because a lot of the feedback is like, oh, well, you're an actor. Everybody does that. They go,
because they feel like you're going to dibble and dabble. Like,
but so what? Who doesn't? There's a lot of models that act and like.
Please, let's just leave it at Jennifer Lopez, please. Let's just leave it at Jennifer Lopez.
Todo el mundo hace lo que quiere hacer.
Esa mujer canta, actúa, tiene perfume, tiene
Todo,
ropa.
de todo el mundo tiene de todo.
What is the
Mira
problem?
Selena Gomez.
Oh, olvídate. I love Rare Beauty.
Ay, mi amor, I love all her stuff. Y me encanta su nuevo álbum también. I love her and Benny Blanco. And I met her and she's such a nice person. I love her.
She's a little sweetie.
Ay, sí, ella
Qué
es so
chula.
sweet.
She gives me sweet, girl.
She's very sweet. But anyways, the point is that we only limit ourselves when we start listening to what people got to say to us. And I am guilty of that. I have limited myself in pursuing certain things because of listening to other people. So I decided 10 years ago or so, I was like, yo, I want to make music. That's how me and X started. Because he had a studio in the Bronx.
Oh, cool, I see.
We Loud, which is like,
so you really got to connect with him, like
that's
the core of.
That's how he made me fall for him, honey. It was in the studio.
A core.
Mi amor, ese hombre laid it like nobody ever laid it. Hizo una pita, mira. Taught me, ay.
De todo. Tú eres una productora, me lo imagino ya.
Mi amor, me enseñó tantas cosas.
Beautiful.
En cuanto a la música. Y con él fue que yo comencé a grabar. Decidí ir a Berkeley Online. I started taking my songwriting classes so I could understand the DAWs, what the language is in the room, because it's a male-dominated industry. Yeah. And I was in the studio late at night recording with people, but just recording references. I wasn't able to like really, you know, desarrollarme. And now I'm here where I'm like, yo, I'm ready. I don't care where I'm at in my life. I don't care how old I am.
I am happy for this.
Like, I want to share what I've been working on. It is what it is. And so,
what's the plan? You want to do a single?
I have an EP. I'm working on an EP.
Oh, the woman has an EP. I love this. Tú vas lejos con esto.
¿Tú crees? I'm thinking yo tengo un tro de música, pero voy a comenzar con mi EP, pero voy a comenzar a release singles primero.
¿Español o inglés? What is
They're
it?
both.
Both. Spanglish?
And it's like world dance, tiene un poquito de todo.
I love this for you. I love this for you. Whichever way I can be involved or whatever we can facilitate, when you're ready for your press runs, whatever stations you need to hit, I got you. I want this for you. I want this for you.
Thank you.
You know, it's like, do you feel like you're doing it for X in a way?
Yeah, I was gonna do it for him regardless.
Yeah,
you know, I was his biggest supporter.
Seeing it through all the way, like
absolutely.
How proud would he be? It would just be amazing.
Muchacha,
he believed in you.
Que sí que.
I can see it. He believed in you.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring home what he was gonna bring home.
Bring it home.
So he knows I'm not done.
100%. Music now. As far as acting, what are we looking for right now?
So
what are we streaming?
We're streaming The Walking Dead. There's
Where
a new
are we
episode,
streaming it?
AMC Plus.
Okay.
This is me in a new, like I have discovered myself as an actor that I love villain roles. I love a good villain, and I'm good at it. In this role, you're gonna see me how you never seen me before, and I'm really proud of it. I had so much fun doing it. Porque mi amor, yo hice también en Lifetime una película que se llama Terror Comes Knocking, que salió en enero.
Oh, claro que sí que yo vi eso. Oh,
mi amor, you know I did my own stunts for that?
You did?
My own stunts started. First of all, I did a lot of stunts for Orange, right? But then I started doing my own stunts, and when I did it with Sylvester Stallone, that movie, The Good Samaritan. Ay, Dios mío. I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep on doing it. When Terror Comes Knocking, yo me tiré de un segundo piso.
That movie looked, it was just like erratic, chaotic.
And it was a true story. Yo me tiré de un segundo piso. Yo me puse la vaina. Sí. Y me puse a hacer mi vaina. Y ahora con The Walking Dead, también me puse a hacer mi own stunt. And it's good. I'm like, why not? If I'm athletic and I have that agility that I have, déjame dejar. Claro que yo todo es safe y todo.
No, claro que sí. They're not going to jeopardize a star, you know?
But they also allowed me to like develop my character and play with it y enseñar lo que yo puedo hacer.
Que molde.
Ay, sí.
Y
ahora, ¿sabes lo que estoy haciendo, honey? Yo voy a escribir con una amiga mía, Sofía Quintero, that she's a writer. And I'm pretty sure you know her books. She's called Sofía Quintero. I forgot what one, the book that you might know her for. But she's Dominican, Puerto Rican. She's a great author. Se dice author. No Arthur.
You know, the problem is that we speak English, we speak Spanish. Autor. Yeah, it's okay. That happens to me all the time.
A mí también, el trabalengua. Ella y yo vamos a comenzar a escribir.
What are you writing? Scripts?
Estamos escribiendo. She has a couple of scripts that we've worked on, but that she's written. But we're going to start writing novels. And I'm going to keep on collaborating with my people. You know, like anything that I could do to collaborate with people. I tell you, you offer yourself to me, I offer myself to you in any way possible that we can collaborate.
We are a community.
I cannot continue to wait for the job to come to me.
We have to create our spaces.
Yeah, we have to create it. And it's fun. It allows us to like really like be as authentic as we can be. It's our narrative. So
it
why
really
not?
is. You know, that's one of the reasons why I created this podcast. Because I didn't want to keep thinking, oh, we don't, in the building, we don't have anything for Latinos. And I was like, oh, can I turn this station into a Latino station? And, you know, no, you cannot. So I said, you know what? Then I'll create a podcast where I can have Latino guests, whether it be rappers, actors, photographers, whoever it is. I'm going to create here in New York, inside of our building, I'll create something that is for us. So, you know, just exactly what you said. We can't wait for opportunities to come to us. We have to create them. And the way things are now, we can create so much.
There's so many tools.
Social media. You could look at Issa Rae. She created Insecure on YouTube. Like, don't wait. Don't think like, oh, I can only do something if I'm in Hollywood with a huge budget. There's music videos that are shot with an iPhone.
There's so many tools.
There is.
It's just applying it.
That we didn't have.
At all. So it's about applying it, and it's about using your network too.
Oh, no, 100%. And building your network and reciprocating. What do you need? Like, you know, you took time out of your schedule today and you came and sat down with me so we can create this episode. Same when you're ready and you're like, you know what, honey, here's my music. I'm going to be like, how do I get behind this? What do you need? Where do you need to go? So that's something that I've been preaching this entire season. That it's about creating community and not just taking, but giving.
Yeah. And it's about venturing out into things that you thought you would never venture out to either. Like, I'm getting into the tech space. I just invested and partnered with this new app from my friend Hugo. It's called Moti.
M-O-D-I?
M-O-T-I.
T-I, okay.
And
I feel like I met Hugo.
You have to know Hugo.
And the app, too.
Like, I'm going to support my people and I'm going to start. We need to be in the spaces that we need to be in because we can be. And so that's the new thing that I'm getting into. I'm getting into the tech space. Hugo and I, we go way back, and he's about tech. You know, that's his thing. He's a Puerto Rican man that has a huge story also and that is doing his thing. And, you know, I'm like, of course I would, why not? Why am I not going to support you? So that's my new thing. I'm doing the music. I'm doing my tech. I'm doing the Moti. I'm a partner with Moti. I'm writing.
You're writing.
I'm going to make my own shit. My movies. I'm going to put our people, whoever's my supporter, whoever that is, they'll be there and ready when I need them to be.
Wow. You're busy. You're busy. You're creating. We're so proud of you.
Because it's so easy to give up, right? When we go through hardships, it's so easy to just stay in bed and give up.
Dasha.
And I've seen you.
Oh, Dasha, yeah. Oh, Dasha, yeah. You know, I could have gave up. I could have never walked again. And I said, you know what? I'm going to learn how to walk again. And here we are. What I'm doing here today, I never thought I was going to do again. And I do things and I'm like, wow, I never thought I would swim again. But I push forward. And you know, if you're listening and you're going through some shit that you feel like you're not going to make it out of, you are. But it takes a lot of willpower, a lot of determination, and a lot of, you know, belief in yourself. You can't second guess yourself every day, day in and day out, and then expect a miracle or something big to happen. Because let me tell you one thing, Dasha. When I was in the hospital in ICU after I had brain surgery and the doctor said, move your leg, I said, that leg doesn't work. And a lot of doctors told me, you may never come back. You may never be who you were ever again. And you know what I said? Fuck that. I am going to be who I was. And it was a lot of work. And it was 5 years ago that I had my stroke. And here I am today. You cannot give up. You're going to get knocked down on your ass. You know, you're going to have, you know, illnesses. You might get incarcerated. You might experience homelessness. You might experience domestic violence. But you can make it out of it.
You can. And success again, the success is you being able to put one foot in front of the other.
Amen.
One foot in front of the other and take a breath. Because I've had to take a moment and take a breath. And when everything is in disarray around you, when you're not connecting to even your home, because your home is not what you want it to be, then you need to take a moment and take a breath. Because it's so easy to quit. It is so easy to quit. But it's so much more rewarding when you're able to like put that foot in front of the other, take a breath and look back and say, oh shit, look at where I'm at right now.
Look at me. And you look back and you're like, wow, I came a long way. But just like you said, it one step at a time. And you got to get up to take those steps. Can't take them from your bed. Can't take them from your couch. Levántate, coño.
Levántate.
Ponle ganas a esta vaina, you know. Echa pa'lante. Si tú tienes
Báñate. Te tienes que bañar, báñate. Ponte bonita, ponte
Píntate,
olorosa.
ponte linda.
Ponte bonita y ponte olorosa.
Ponte unos jeansitos apretaditos, ponte unos taquitos. Súbete la teta.
Todo lo que tú puedas ponerte, todo lo que te haga sentir, lo que sea, levántate.
I feel like we should end it here. Like, what else can we say?
Because we're on an uplifted note, baby. There's no end here.
There isn't.
There's just keeping our movement. We're ascending. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad to be part of this.
Amen. And
I am more than, you know, and we don't like know each other from before.
No, we're not friends from childhood or anything like that.
No, but we know that we are sisters because
we're kindred spirits. Like, we connect. And I want to see you win and you want to see me win. And I want to thank you. You know, this is our last episode of the season and I couldn't have picked a better person to end it with. But with the icon, the legend, la fashionista, diseñadora, writer, artist, actriz. Coño, tú lo eres todo. Me tengo que poner para lo mío, ¿oíste? Tengo que agregarle un par de títulos a la vaina mía. But nah, Dasha, I really, really thank you for sitting down with me today. Thanks for being vulnerable.
Thank you.
Sharing as much as you did.
Thank you.
Te quiero, mi negra.
Y yo también a ti, mi amor. Y a ustedes también. Apoyen a mi honey, que ella es como la miel de abeja. Lenta, suave y sabrosa.
Gracias. Come again.
Bye.